Streaks are a great way to reward a player in Call of Duty for doing well, and when you see another player calling in a really cool streak, it motivates you to stick with the game and keep grinding. However, there have been some streaks throughout COD history that just motivate you to back out of the match and turn off the console or PC completely. What is up, everybody? Jimmy or Chaos. Welcome to the channel. Today, we are going to go over 10 kill streaks from COD history that made you quit. They made you back out of the game when they were called in for one reason or another. So circle of trust in the comments. You let me know which of these streaks made you rage quit the most. Drop a like on the video. Before we move on, guys, we're giving away a PS5 at 2.8 million subs. That's right. Somebody on this channel that watches these videos is going to win a PS5. It's simple to enter. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like this video. Comment your Twitter handle. That's important because if you win, I have to be able to get hold of you and follow me over on Twitter. The details are the top pinned comment on the video, and there's a bonus entry in those details as well. Good luck. Let's start off at number 10. The IMS in Modern Warfare 3 2011 and Call of Duty Ghost. We're going to start things off with an obvious one. The IMS debuted in Modern Warfare 3, then it returned in Ghost, where it was still annoying, but not nearly as much of an annoyance as it was in the first one. The streak was basically a giant bouncing Betty. Had a whole bunch of charges. It would only cost 5 or 6 kills to earn, and once you placed it somewhere, it would instantly kill any enemy player who got too close to it. So if you were smart about your placement, you would put it around a corner or next to a doorway. You would get 5 to 10 kills over the course of the next few minutes. You just sat back and it clicked and you laughed. It was cheap. You could keep earning them over and over and over. Place them all around the map. Turn the play area into a literal minefield for the enemy team. Now, I know a lot of people would just back out of the lobby once they saw someone on the other team running the IMS because even if you destroyed one, you were almost certainly going to be caught off guard by the next one that got thrown down, and then the next one, and the next one. The IMS was super annoying to deal with. So a lot of people just chose to back out of the match, try a different lobby, and honestly, I don't blame you. At number 9, the Power Core in Black Ops 3. Now, the Power Core was the Black Ops 3 equivalent of the EMP, but it had some bonus effects that could result in extra rage and rage quits. The Power Core was a very, very expensive item, but once you placed it on the map, it would destroy all enemy streaks and equipment while also disabling their exosuits until it was destroyed, which took a really, really long time to do. Plus, the person who called it in would get assist points for every single kill their team got while the Power Core was active, meaning if you activated a Power Core, you could get yourself halfway to a second one by the time it was destroyed. That's also the reason why if the enemy team called in a Power Core, it was not common for your teammates to just back out of the lobby because not only was the game really hard to play without your exosuit, it was almost certainly going to be the first of many Power Cores you were going to go up against in the match. So let's be honest. Raise your hand if you would just back out of the lobby if an enemy player called in a Power Core because I'm guilty of it. At number 8, the Wilson in Modern Warfare 2019, specifically on Shipment and Shoot House. On most maps in MW, the Wilson wasn't that hard to deal with. Little motorized drone, Wally, drive around the map, fire at people similar to the AGR in Black Ops 2 or the Cerberus in Black Ops 3. But what made this one so annoying was the fact that Infinity Ward thought it would be funny or a great idea to give this thing the ability to ram into enemy players, killing them instantly. So if you got a Wilson on a smaller map like Shipment, which wasn't hard to do since it only cost 7 kills, the driver could easily rack up 15 to 20 kills by simply driving around the map, bonking into people while also spraying and praying into enemy spawn points. The clips some people got with the Wilson were absurd. And again, it only cost 7 kills to earn, and it could get you well over 10 kills. Even, I mean, if you were on a smaller map, you could get to 20. Tons of people just quit the game if an enemy player called in a Wilson because of how cheap it was to earn. You could get 4 to 5 or even 6 of them in a single match, and if you were on the other team, why would you put up with that crap? You just back out and find a new lobby, and other people will say you just get good and you keep killing them. Okay. At number 7, the Chopper Gunner in Black Ops and Black Ops Cold War. I've said many times that the Chopper Gunner is one of my favorite all-time streak rewards in Call of Duty. Seeing your character slide the door back before unloading on the entire map is one of the coolest moments in any Call of Duty game, but I would be lying if I said being on the receiving end of a Chopper Gunner wasn't frustrating. In fact, being on the receiving end of a Chopper Gunner was often enough to get me to back out of the game because it would be 1 to 2 minutes of just getting killed over and over again from somebody that was almost impossible to shoot down. And back in the original Black Ops, there was no spawn protection. So if you called in a Chopper Gunner on one of the small maps like Firing Range or Nuketown, it was 60 seconds of pure carnage. And then in a couple minutes, there was a good chance it would be 60 seconds again of pure carnage. I love the chopper gunner, but if you got hit with it, it kind of killed the vibe. At number 6, the Gunship in Black Ops 4. The Gunship was Black Ops 4's equivalent of the AC-130, and it functioned basically the same as the Modern Warfare version. However, what made it so much more frustrating was the simple fact that it was really difficult to shoot down, partially due to the amount of health it had, partially due to how quickly it could kill you after respawning, and partially due to the fact that there was only one rocket launcher in Black Ops 4, meaning nobody was ever actually running the right gear to shoot it down in the first place. If somebody called in a Gunship, you basically had to sit there and take a minute or two until the timer ran out. And since the user would have racked up so many points with their Gunship, they were probably halfway home to another one by the time they took control of their character again. I hated it. It's probably the most rage-inducing streak in Black Ops 4. Now we crack into the top 5. The Moab in Modern Warfare 3 2011. The Moab was the highest accomplishment you could earn in Modern Warfare 3. It required 25 kills or 24 if you were running Hardline or Specialist, at which point it would kill everyone on the enemy team while also acting as an EMP, destroying all gear and keeping the other team from calling new streaks in for about a minute, which that would give your team a huge advantage as you secured objectives, widened your lead. But even though the Moab didn't end the match, it might as well have, because basically everyone on the other team would back out once the Moab timer showed up on the screen. If someone on the enemy team got a Moab, there was no way that your team was going to win, because that lead that the Moab caller's team would build up by the time the effects wore off, it was insurmountable. Believe it or not, I think there was actually one other Modern Warfare 3 streak that caused more people to rage quit than the Moab. At least the Moab took some skill to earn. This other one, nope. At number 4, the support stealth bomber in Modern Warfare 3 2011. The stealth bomber was a support streak. Let me say that again. A support streak, meaning anybody could earn it over and over again because the points didn't reset upon death. No skill multi-kill. That's why it was called that. This meant if you were running the stealth bomber in a game mode like Dom or Drop Zone, you could earn it 3 to 4 times a match, and odds were pretty good. Once you called in the first one, at least 2 to 3 people on the enemy team would just disconnect because they did not want to deal with the stealth bomber spam that was in their future. Once that first stealth bomber was called in, you knew there was plenty more in your future. Why would you stay? It's not like the person calling them in was actually earning them. They weren't. I have no idea why anyone thought it was a good idea to put the stealth bomber in the support strike package, but that's what happened, and I bet plenty of you backed out of plenty of lobbies as a result. At number 3, the Raps in Black Ops 3, the robotic anti-personnel sentry. This was one of the most expensive streaks in Black Ops 3. It cost you 1,300 points. So unlike the stealth bomber, you at least knew that if somebody called these in, they earned them legitimately. But with how many you actually stayed in the lobby once the Raps deploy ship flew in, be honest, giant rolling drones zip around the map, explode whenever they got too close to an enemy player, resulting in a fireball that would instantly kill the target and anybody close to them, meaning the deployment of Raps would often get you a dozen kills. These things were insane. They were. And while you technically could shoot down the Raps deploy ship before it dropped all the drones, it was virtually impossible to avoid getting killed by them once they hit the ground. It's basically the Black Ops 3's equivalent of the Swarm, and since we're on that topic, but before we go on, the Raps were kind of like the dogs, just heavy metal exploding with spikes. At number 2, the Swarm in Black Ops 2. It's still one of the most devastating streaks in COD history. You remember the Hunter Killer. Dinky little streak, cost you a handful of kills, usually get you 1 to 2 in return after you threw it out. Well, the Swarm would cost you 1,900 points, most expensive streak in the game. But what did you get? Well, you got a giant army of Hunter Killer drones unleashed on the enemy team, dive bombing enemy players and automatically targeting aerial streaks like UAVs and helicopters, blowing them up instantly. Easily get you 15 to 20 kills after you called in. If you were on the receiving end of it, the only way to counter it was an EMP or by leaving the match, because let's be real, if someone called in a Swarm, then your team was not going to win the match. It wasn't going to happen. Frustration of spawning in, getting blown up, spawning in, getting blown up. It was not worth it. But would you believe there's still one more streak that I think cleaned out lobbies more effectively than the Swarm? Believe it or not, it's a Black Ops streak. At number 1 today, the kill streak that made you rage quit the most has to go to the Mothership in Black Ops 3. It's one of the most ridiculous streaks in COD history, and throughout my time playing Black Ops 3, I saw several enemy teams completely back out of a match after someone called it in. I'm not kidding. I've seen multiple instances of matches ending in forfeits because the entire enemy team backed out after a Mothership was called in. It would cost you 1,700 points. Gigantic aircraft with multiple turrets, rocket launchers, some of which could be manually controlled by the teammates of whoever called it in. The turrets would instantly kill anybody they hit who wasn't wearing flak. But even if you were wearing a flak jacket, it would only take 3 hits to kill you, so you were going to get blown apart over and over again. It also had a ridiculous health pool, requiring 8 rockets to take down, meaning it was literally impossible to shoot down by yourself without dying because the biggest launcher in the game was the black cell, which only carried 4 rockets at a time. But then again, with how quickly the mothership would be killing you once you spawned in, odds were good. You weren't even going to be able to lock onto it more than twice. So you'd have to sit there and deal with getting blown up 1,000,000 times while the mothership's drivers team ran around capturing objectives and cleaning up your teammates trying to hide indoors. It was crazy. It would clean out lobbies. It would kill them and make them rage quit. If you ask me, this is more than deserving of the #1 spot on today's list. I don't think there's a single other streak in COD history that provoked as many rage quits as the Black Ops 3 mothership. It was very rare to see it online because of how hard it was to earn. But once it was called in, it was basically game over. It might as well have been a nuke. And there you have it, my friends. Let me know one kill streak that we didn't talk about that made you rage as well. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.